Hi, this is Panzer J. Patton coming to you from the tower in Loves Park, Illinois. I wanted to do a short video. Well, I always say short, but they never turn out that way. But I wanted to do a video about all the customizations that I've been able to do in the past year and a half, year and 8 months. And I wanted to do that, one, because I think I'm really grateful that I've been able to do what I've done. I enjoy my table so much, and there's just a lot of things about the customization. Some of them, a lot of things have been gifts, and so anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. Let me get set up and I'll go through them all. Okay, so I thought I would start, when I first started kind of designing the video, if you will, I wanted to kind of do it in chronological order, but then I realized I didn't remember well enough. But we'll start kind of with this first group. I know that the first thing I bought was coasters. I went on HBG's site and just was looking around. I'd seen some coasters in one of Grasshopper's videos. So I thought, well, I'll look at those. And then I saw they were pretty cheap. You couldn't order a whole set. He didn't have the whole set in, but they were pretty cheap. Matter of fact, the first two I got were not these because he was out of Germany and US and Japan, I think. But I know the first thing I bought was coasters. Then I think it was the cards. Grasshopper had done a video about his cards and basically said you can't play the game unless you have a set of cards, because you don't want to be going back to the rule book like pretty much everybody knows. And these cards were on drive-through cards, and they were inexpensive also. And I should put that up there too. So I went there. I think the deck was like less than $4. And then I also bought some cases, plastic cases, which I love. My family plays cards a lot, and so I've bought several of these cases for the different decks of cards we play. And so I'm pretty sure that was the second thing I bought. Grasshopper had done some stuff about his dice, his hit dice, and just the idea of speeding up the game, I thought, well, that's something I really should set a goal for. And so anyway, I kind of saved up some money and I bought one set of the hit dice. And I remember when I got them, just the idea of rolling, all the different numbers on the battle board at the same time, I thought it was really cool. So the next thing, I'm not 100% sure how these next few fall in line, but I bought the fuel gauges. I saw these on General Hand Grenades video, and just the idea, setting a dice out there is really not a bad thing, but I like these. Now I know that I think it's Moffett Field came out with some double-sided where the numbers on both sides, and they're smaller. Now smaller isn't necessarily good for me because I got these sausage fingers, so smaller is not necessarily a good idea for me, but I'm very content with the HBG ones. The next thing is I realized that with one set of hit dice that might not be enough, and also I had seen I think it was on Cireblood's video of how his table was designed to have 2 sets of hit dice, and I just thought, you know, that's probably the way I should go. So I bought another set of hit dice, and I'm pretty sure when I bought that, I bought chips. Now, part of the problem with the reason I bought these white chips and blue chips is because the green and gray that come with the board, I can't distinguish those when they're on the board. The green and gray look exactly the same. So me and my buddy had started playing, and I would just constantly have to ask him, is that green or gray? And so anyway, that was a little bit of a issue, and I solved that with white and blue. I definitely can tell those on the board. And then there in the background, you see I bought some of the I Will Never Grow Up poker chips, and I'm not even sure if he makes those anymore. I know HBG's doing something with them, but I went to his site because I just needed a few more ones, or because I should back up. On HBG's site, I bought the G40 set, which is a few more of, I don't know exactly what more than the base set it is, but I kept running out of ones, and 5s would get really low, and I just thought, if I could just order like 10 of each of those, that would be great. And I thought I'll order, 5 more 25s because we always run out of 25s. And so anyway, but I bought the G40 set, and I had the reason I bought those is I saw on G.I. Joe's channel, he did a video just about money. And of course you have the old Axis and Allies money, and I had plenty of that. And then there's Battle Bucks on HBG, and then Cireblood developed his own cash. Now, as far as aesthetics look, I think Cireblood's cash is probably the coolest, and now you can even get it in plastic, which is very cool. I mean, just the art design on it is phenomenal. And but I just, because of my shakiness and everything, I thought, I need to go with something a little bit heavier, and I'm thrilled with it. I love the poker chips; they're great. I'm trying to find a stand or a poker chip tray for them. I found a plastic one, and it's working. It does the job, but I really would prefer wood on my table. All right, next, in the background, there's a map rolled up. That was kind of out of the blue. I got a text, and it was Matt Todd, and he said, "Hey, I got a map just kind of lying around. Do you want it?" I was like, "Yeah, come on, man. Yes, I want that map." And so he sent me the map. Gosh, it just totally changed everything about the game. It just totally changed it. The boards were constantly moving, no matter how we clipped them, and yeah, that was a great addition to or customization that we made. And the map was way out to be able to be done. So anyway, all right, so now we're getting into the Christmas season, kind of. And I got here this set. There's a big kind of set of markers, air bases, naval bases, convoy, damage markers. Now, I had bought some damage markers already, and but it wasn't enough to keep some on each side of the table, so that I knew at some point I would build. And so I asked for that for Christmas, and I also asked for a set of roundels for Christmas. And I didn't get the roundels at Christmas, but I got them a little bit later with birthday money. So anyway, so these two sets I got. My birthday's January 7th, so I got these two sets pretty close together, 3 or 4 week period. But also for Christmas, I got the HBGs. Can't see those very well. Let me put them over here and see them a little better. I bought the factory sets on HBG. Trying to grab it, looking in the camera, and so the ones on HBG, they come in different colors, and when I got them, I thought they clashed a little bit, and some of them were dead spot on, but some of them I just felt like they didn't work, and I knew at some point I'd be painting my pieces. And I was pretty well set on the weathered look. So, matter of fact, I had already painted my pieces, and so when I got the, I had already bought the paint to paint my pieces. Is what I should say. I bought the paint, and I just thought, I'm going to paint these at the same time. Well, at first, I thought I would paint them in the same color scheme as the different countries, but then it became a problem of, storing them, and and I just thought, well, I'm gonna have a place for chips and whatever. What if I painted them all the same color and weathered them? So I went back to Home Depot and picked up some copper paint, and at first I thought I'll just paint them copper and leave it at that, but then after I painted them, I thought, I am gonna weather them, so I painted them this copper color, and then I weathered them, and I love them. I think they look great. I know my buddy that I play with, he's not like thrilled with them, but He matter of fact, he got a set and he left them the colors, but he hasn't painted his pieces either. All right, I'm not sure of the chronological order. This is where it kind of got a little fuzzy, but so at some point we took and got straight pins, like sewing straight pins, and I bought a set of decals, and we put flags, and it's hard to see. Let me see if I can hold it up here. Oh. I also, with that set, when I bought that set, I got deck stickers. And so anyway, it was just an idea, a thought, and so when I got them, I wasn't like overwhelmed with them, but they were okay. And with the deck stickers, I love the flags. It's a little, very easy for me to pick up and whatnot. The deck stickers, I'm kind of numb about it. There's some things about them I like, some things I don't. One is they don't stick very well. Some of them have started to peel up, and I've had to put a little glue under them, so they don't stick very well. And I'm not sure that they add a lot to it. If I had a steady hand, I would paint the decks, but yeah, that's never going to happen with me. Next thing, let me move these back. Start bringing stuff up to the forefront here. So at one point, I was watching Hambone's channel, and Hambone had these arrows. I'm sorry, no, I misspoke. Matt Todd had these arrows, and then I saw him on Hambone's channel, and in the comment, I just asked him, I said, hey man, where do you get those stickers? So he told me about the Risk game, or the arrows. And he told me about the Risk game. And so I went on the eBay and found the game, bought it, cannibalized it, as some of us have said. And I used that there. Now I have the cities, and I thought about using them as factories, but they're a little bit too big. So I'm hanging on to them just in case, but as of right now, no, that's not going to happen. All right, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is something that an individual sold and not a site, and it was War-Torn's task force markers. And I love them. Matter of fact, I saw a video, I'm not sure, I think it was G.I. Joe that was talking about them. I saw the video and he was promoting them, and I actually stopped the video and got on PayPal, sent the money, and sent War-Torn an email saying, dude, I want a set. Because I knew I'd missed out on the flight stands, and I was kind of hacked about that. I was just like, I just wasn't playing at the time. That was in late 2017. He was doing that, and I'm not sure when he stopped, but that show was over by the time I came around, and so anyway, I really liked it. Anyway, these task force markers they're awesome. They're great. We use them in my game all the time. Matter of fact, sometimes we have to use two for the same country because, you know, our armies and navies get so big. All right, so next. Now this happened early on and I just kind of forgot about it. But we magnetized our carriers and our planes. And matter of fact, I said we did them all at the same time, and all the planes, even though strategic bombers can't go on there, and all the carriers, if yours are not magnetized, it's not I would say a simple process, but it's not real time consuming. And, you know, do 2 or 3 or, you know, 10 on one night and then 10 on a different night. But you got to magnetize your carriers. It just makes the game so much better with that going on. And if you, when I magnetize my carriers, I use magnetic paint. I do not recommend it. One is sometimes the planes, if there's just a little bit of paint that got on the side, it'll catch on the side, and the magnet on the plane will catch on the side. So they don't sit like on the deck. Magnetic paint is not easier than magnets. I thought it would be, but it's really not. It's kind of a pain in the butt. And so anyway, so we painted. How we did it is I magnetized all the carriers, got them all painted up. I did 3 coats of magnetic paint, and then we painted the pieces with spray paint, and then I weathered them, dipping them in stain. And so it didn't make it any easier. It's just something that takes time, and you know, you go through the process. But anyway, you got to magnetize. It's just so much better, the game is. All right, the next thing is dice trays. So in my last video, I talked about this dice tray on Etsy. There was a girl there who does dice trays, and I thought, you know, I'm going to try one. And it was $10. You know, shipping kind of doubled that price, but $10. And You know, it's kind of cool. It says Power J's Tower at the top. It's got some dice symbol type stuff on the bottom. But the problem is, let me grab a die here. Oh, right here. You can see that the dice is, I mean, just about as high as just about the same height. And I just know if I rolled in these, the die would come out. Now, I like the idea that I bought them, or bought one, but I'm glad I didn't buy two, because I'll never use them in the game. But they'll probably this one will hang around my table anyway, just for fun, I guess. All right, and then I bought this dice tray, and I wanted a cup. I'd seen on YouTube wars guys were using different things for cups. Hambone uses a barbecue bean cup, and which is appropriate for a Kansas City guy. And so anyway, I looked at several ones, and I wasn't really happy with them. And I kind of got a pet peeve with the rolling with the loud noise. So I wanted to find something with the felt. So I found this. It's called a Gold Series. It was on Amazon. And so I used this to do my rolling. And I bought two of these. These are HBG, just plain old dice trays. And of course, eventually they'll be on my table, incorporated into my table. And I'll probably use these as spares then. Okay, let's get the next thing out. I got enamored with the Bloodbath. And Matt Todd put the cards out on Make Playing Cards. And so I bought the first, now this is a brand new deck that I bought from my buddy. We're going to start playing Bloodbath. He doesn't buy anything online. So when I say bought for him, he gives me the money, and then I order it for him. And so anyway, I ordered a deck, and anyway, you can get these plastic trays from Drive-Thru Cards for double decks, and the Bloodbath cards fit in there perfectly. So you can get a double deck and store your cards in there. A couple things: one, it keeps dust off them when you're not playing, and two, it protects the edges of the cards so they don't become beat up or whatever. And so I did that. And then at some point, Matt Todd made the jumbo cards. Love the jumbo cards. I'm 50. What am I? I'm 51 years old, and so if I'm reading, I got that upside down. If I'm reading, oh, this one is too. What a bonehead. So when I'm reading, I have to have what they call cheaters. I cannot read without them, especially if the print's small. Now these, I still have to, for some of the small print, I have to use my cheaters, but generally speaking, I can read these without my cheaters. So that was very helpful. Then Sire printed the rule book, and yeah, so that's my Bloodbath stuff right there. And in the background is my Bloodbath map. I got this map last year at Christmas time also. And so, yeah, I printed my map, and I love it. I think it's great. I think this is the coolest looking map that I've seen out there. I've seen a lot of maps. You know, I've downloaded a bunch of free ones. Now, I've only looked at them on the computer, and this is the only map I've ever printed because, again, Matt Todd gave me my first map. So this is the only map I ever printed. And so I got the Matt Todd's map out not long ago. I rolled all this up and my bloodbath map, and I got Matt Todd's map out just to make sure it would fit on the board that I have. Next, I'll show you my messy house. Next was these air bases. I saw these on Matt Todd's channel. Asked him where he got them, and these naval bases. And he said, hey, I got those off Shapeways. And he, in his text to me or email, I don't remember, he gave me a link so I could go right there and order them. So I ordered the air bases, and I wanted those to come in before I ordered anything else. And I knew I was going to pay a little bit more in shipping, but so I got them. I like them. I love the look on the map of having the towers out there. I really love that look. And so I got them, and then I realized I didn't have enough. I was still having to use some markers. These markers up there, the little blue and green ones for naval and air bases that come in that nice set. And so anyway, I loved them, but I didn't have enough. So I thought, well, I'm going to order. They come in sets of 10, I think. And so I ordered another set. And then I ordered the air bases, or the naval bases also. And but one set of the naval bases is enough. There's not as many naval bases as there are air bases. So yeah, one set's enough. All right. Now my favorite, I'm going to pause this for a second. All right. I'm back. So my favorite customization is the flight stands. I'm not saying they're far and away my favorite customization, but and it's my newest customization also. I just love them. I love how they look when you first set up the board. I love how they look on the map. It just, I think it makes the whole map come alive. And you know, I see on YouTube some different guys that I know have flight stands and they don't use them. It really, I don't understand why. I mean, matter of fact, I kind of have a house rule where if there's a plane on the board, it needs to be on a stand. Unless it's on a carrier, it needs to be on a stand. And so because at first we would get lazy and not do it, and I just said, no, we're doing it. You know, the flight stands are right here. All we have to do is grab one. And so anyway, I love the flight stands. I think obviously I got the varied heights. I don't know the different dimensions or the heights, but yeah, I love them. And matter of fact, if you have a plane somewhere, you don't have to look. It's there. You see it from across the board, and I love that. I really like the flight stands. Now my biggest, I should show you this too. This was part of the bloodbath and I forgot. I printed out the chart for the bloodbath and the technology, or the IPC tracker and the technology tracker, and it's doing the job. It's not what I want to do eventually, but it's doing the job. Is my table. Built this table myself, which is unbelievable. Not that I built it. That's what's unbelievable. Um, and by the way, there's my cup. I'm definitely going to put cup holders in now. I made that decision. And, this is the end. That'll have the dice tray. And once I find a wood tray for my poker chips, then I'll start designing this area. I'll know how much room I have, and I'll start kind of putting that area together. But I built this table myself, and I love it. It's great. We're still using these plastic containers for our pieces. We did it I did it at first because I had never played G40 before, and the idea of going back and forth and picking out destroyers and cruisers, I just couldn't do it. I could not pick out and the difference between a cruiser and a destroyer at first. Of course, I can do it now, no problem. But there's a few. Matter of fact, there's a couple of countries. I think the U.S. is a little bit difficult, but I didn't know the difference at all. Even when they were obviously very different, I just didn't know the difference at all. And so those pieces and having them sorted really helped. And and by doing that, we learned them pretty quick. So anyway, that's pretty much all my customizations. And again, I think some of these I would say are not necessary, but some are. So I want to go through the ones that are not necessary, and then we'll go through the ones that, then we'll go back and go through the ones that are necessary. All right, not necessary is the IPC chips. You don't have to have a customization of money there, but you can use the paper money that comes in one of the games, because you don't get money in the G40 game. So you'll have to have some sort of currency. You can use Monopoly money if you want, I guess. IPC chips, not necessary. I would say the task force markers are not necessary, but gosh, are they helpful. Very, very helpful in the game, but not necessary. All of these chips, not the roundels. Oh, I forgot to mention, I put these red dots on the back of my roundels to mark combat areas. So we use those a lot. But the markers, the flags on the capital ships, not necessary. The factories, I think, I don't even know if you get factories with this game or not. I can't remember. Anyway, the factories, I think, are not necessary from HBG, but you need to have something that's consistently a factory and paint them in a way that you'll be able to pick them out. So I think the factories are necessary. But these chips are not necessary. You can do a lot of different things to mark convoys, damage, and the air and naval bases. So not necessary. All right. Now, as far as the blood bucket goes, you got to have a set of cards. You can't play a game without cards. Matter of fact, we use the cards just about every turn. Every turn when we play our G40 game, we use Grasshopper's cards. I mean, I just think cards are absolutely necessary. We're finishing up the not necessary. The not necessary. I'm kind of looking on my board. The fuel gauges. The fuel gauges are not necessary, but it's a nice little customization type thing. And so, all right, necessary. Now, it is not necessary. Move this up a little bit. It's not necessary to have coasters. Now, I don't use mine as coasters. I use them as mobilization zones. So, you know, in the rule book, it clearly states that you need a mobilization zone to put the pieces that you've purchased for that turn. And I use them for that. Now, my buddy kind of uses them in a different way, but he still uses them as part of the game. I think they are necessary. There's no mobilization zone, for instance, on the Bloodbath map. So I think they are necessary. I think everybody should have a set of coasters, so at least every team has the one coaster. Now, I've doubled up. I've got he recently started selling sets again. I think I bought 2 sets. So, yeah, I love them. Necessary? Hit dice. Got to have hit dice. It speeds the game up. You know, there's a lot of guys are making their own. Matter of fact, I just saw a video last night. Lieutenant Dan makes his own. And, you know, I think he probably built a jig with a drill press. And they look sharp. I liked them. I thought they really looked good. They weren't the Bloodbath ones that Sire Blood weathered. Some of those I'm like, I can't even tell the difference from one die to the other. So I don't think I could ever use those. Matter of fact, in the game, I can't discern sometimes what's blue and what's green. Those are tough for me. So I bought these, and of course I didn't realize I was going to have that hard a time. Now, in good light and not whatever, I can tell the difference. But if the light's not great, it's a little difficult for me. Cards are necessary. Got to have cards for whatever style game you're playing. I don't care if you make up your own cards, but you got to have cards. You can't be going back to the rule book time and time again. There's the packet of red dots that I use, that I was talking about earlier. And that is not necessary, but gosh, does it make things come out at you. And yeah, I like the red dots. I use those a lot. You gotta have some sort of marker for air and naval bases. Now, the little chips here, let me bring these up front. These are not necessary because if you're going to use a little card or a little chip like that, you might as well use the cardboard ones that come with the game. Excuse me. So they're not necessary. Very nice. You know, if that's what you're using, very nice, but not necessary. Also, these, put these over here too. These air and naval bases, not necessary. But again, it really makes the map pop. I mean, it makes the map come alive. And then you add the flight stands, and now your planes are flying. It really makes the map come alive. Not necessary. Now, I debated on whether or not I don't know if I said this, the Bloodbath rule book, necessary. If you're going to play Bloodbath, you need a rule book. Now, you can print it off, and over there is my printed off version. You can print it off. You don't have to buy the published kind of rule book. You don't have to buy that, but it's just a cool thing. But it's not necessary. You can print it off. Necessary if you're going to play Bloodbath. but you need one or the other if you're going to play Bloodbath. All right, now flight stands, I want to say they're necessary, but the fact of the matter is, I know they're not necessary. I know that you don't need flight stands to play the game. But I think it makes the game come alive. Yeah, I love them. All right. Lastly is, what did I do with it? There's one. All right, that's gonna wrap up this video. I don't usually say this, and I probably should, but you know, if you're watching this video and you know, you kind of like what I'm doing, you know, I started this out as my Axis and Allies experience, and at this point, it was, you know, developing my game skills and at a new game, and you know, the customizations I just started doing, not thinking I was going to do all this, and yeah, it's about my Axis and Allies experience, and I just kind of go through what I'm doing. And like I said, I didn't plan on or intend to, you know, end up purchasing all this, but I just watch a video or see, you know, of someone playing, and I see something they got, and I'm like, you know, that looks really cool. And so I, you know, when I can, and I've been able to purchase some stuff. All right, so anyway, this video has gone way longer than I intended, but I think it's important because of what I'm doing that I explain that. If I'm going to ask you to like and subscribe my video, subscribe to my videos, you know, I need to explain to you what I'm doing. So anyway, that's what I'm doing, and so far so good. I'm having a great time. I'm anxious to start playing the Bloodbath rules, and anyway, we're gonna get going here. This is I'm gonna wrap it up. This has been fun going over all the customizations, and you know, I'm very happy, very grateful that I've been able to do what I've done so far. Okay, this is Panzer J. Patton signing off.